Hello everybody and welcome back to the Brit and Yankee pub. We're here for day, I gotta check, 14. Yes, it's the 14th of December. And I'm very happy to say that a returning guest is Mr. Chuck Fort, who is the senior brewing consultant over at Church Street Brewing. And Chuck, welcome.
Thank you very much, Phil. Thanks for having me over. Hello, hello, hello. I know you're waiting for that.
I threw you off
Hello.
because that's his signature hello there.
Yeah, I know you're waiting for that. But
now, today, I'm glad you're back for this because I wanted to get you back for one of our barley wines. We've had two already in it. I think we might have one more. I have a number of barley wines that I've collected, aside from the fact that in January we always have our annual barley wine show. Barley wines and the British pub go together well.
I think so.
I do too. So today we have one which you saw in the opening that comes from Oswego Brewing Company. It's called That's My Baby. And I always want to hear that. I want to do the That's My Baby. That was Jimmy Durante, right?
Okay. But that's also his baby, I would guess.
I guess.
Like, now, a lot of times my favorite beer, people ask me, or I go, well, that's kind of my baby. So that must be his baby. This must be his baby,
I guess. Yeah. And him, the man that you're talking about is Mark Wilson, who, of course, we saw way back, I think it was day 4 on our advent calendar, reviewing one of our beers. Well, we've got one of his beers here. Now, in the past, I've had his barrel-aged version of this. I've never had his regular version of it. And I have to say, Mark, you really cheat out with the label. What the hell's going on there? You've just like printed and stuck on there.
It's a little too flashy for me, actually. I was going to dial it back just a little bit.
Yeah, okay. Now, you like barley wines, right? One of your styles, I think you like those. What's the difference between an American barley wine and an English barley wine while I'm opening this?
Well, American has the word American in front of it, and English has the word English.
It can't be that simple, can it? Oh, okay.
Well, no, but I guess the American ones can be hoppier, and the English ones, if you can use English hops, the hops don't really come through that much in these beers, so I don't know what the big deal of that is. Sometimes the English ones will have a bit of a molasses character, I suppose.
Okay.
Well, other than that, there's not a whole lot of difference.
If you have molasses in it, which I have to admit, when I was in England, we might call that black treacle, but that would tend to make it a little darker. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm sure you're even. Yeah.
I mean the color, because I'm looking at this poured out. This is like the atypical color for a barley wine that I look for. Something like this. It's really kind of golden and nice and very interesting. Yeah. So anyway, despite the can and the way it looks,
I think it looks nice.
What about the? We didn't get much head on it.
Clear. A little haze. Well, it's got some alcohol in it. Probably kills the head a little bit.
Well, it's only 9.8, so I'm wondering.
Well, it's still a fair amount. I still have a ring of foam around the edge of my glass. So
okay,
I'm good.
So that's good. So let's have a little sniff of this and find out what we can smell. Oh, sweetness.
Yeah.
No, I was just calling you sweetness. Thank you very much. All right, there we go.
34.
Yeah. Interesting. More, I get maltiness, but not too much. I mean, I think I'm getting what I would expect from a straight up barley wine, which essentially is what we're drinking.
Yeah, you get that. The flavor is the same as is right where you expect, from the nose. The nose and the flavor go hand in hand.
So I took this out of the fridge and it's been sitting out for about 5-10 minutes, but it really is still quite chilly, and I think barley wines benefit from letting them sit out for a little while and warm up. That said, when I took the first sip, it was kind of like, oh, this is not really much flavor, and all of a sudden there was a flavor explosion on the back end of that.
It has to warm up a little bit, and it's like a dark It's not toffee.
How warm is your hands?
Yeah.
You're gonna give it a good
Warm
rub.
enough. Well, hopefully they're 98.6, but I don't know.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, toffee.
It's like but it's like a darkened kind of a toffee. Isn't it? It's and it's the same thing on the nose.
English toffee.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, folks, if you're a Premier League fan, Everton Football Club's nickname is the Toffees. I don't know why, but that just came into my head. So now, Mark has aged this. I want to make sure I get it right here. He aged it 20 months to create a very smooth and delicious beer, ready to be consumed by the fireside. Now, we don't have a fire here in the pub because that's against regulations. But I could sit in front of a fire on a winter's evening, sipping this little puppy. I think the alcohol comes through more than, it almost seems like it's more than 9.8.
It's definitely setting off the alcohol receptors a little bit, but it's not real. And the alcohol is real smooth, basically. You know, it's not that noticeable.
Yeah,
okay. It's just real smooth.
Not like the last time you were in, we had that one from Workforce, which was 12.8, and you couldn't taste hardly any of the alcohol in that. This 9.8, I can taste a little alcohol, but nothing that is bad.
Well, this is a dessert stout. Barley's dessert stout is going to have a lot more sugar and other flavors in it than this. This one is more reserved. It's just thank goodness for that. It's really wonderful.
I really like the way that this sips simple and then goes quite complex at the back end. It kind of like goes, whoa, wait a minute, here, I've got all these flavors going on.
Yeah.
Have a taste.
And once you're done drinking it, you start breathing like afterwards, then you start getting...
It's always good to breathe, folks.
It's good to breathe afterwards. Breathing is a good thing. But yeah, then you start getting some of these other things.
Yeah. So, have you brewed a barley wine at Church Street?
Not lately. Not lately.
In the past?
I think we did once.
Not really the style for Church Street then?
No, it could be. We do a lot of really big beers. And we've got, Russian Imperial Stouts and barrel-aged
Russian
stouts,
Rhapsody, folks. One of my
Russian
thumbs up.
Rhapsody and all kinds of things. We just haven't, which is kind of nice because now we've got something else we can do.
Yeah. Well, I want to give a thumbs up to Mark Wilson. I'd also like to give a mention to his assistant brewer out there, although, when you say somebody's an assistant brewer, it almost seems like they're second, and really a lot of assistant brewers are just as good as the brewers.
Yeah.
Carolyn Stevens, well done. Fantastic beers.
Yeah, the only real difference is that the buck stops with the head brewer, basically.
Right, okay.
That's all.
Have you ever had a buck not stop?
When I wasn't the head brewer, it just went on by. But when I was head brewer, it stopped. It definitely stopped.
Nice one. Well, Chuck, I think this is your last appearance because you have a busy Christmas schedule coming up, and you're heading out of town and all sorts of things. So are we. But I really appreciate you coming on and tasting some of the beers here. I'm going to raise my glass and say, cheers. I like this as a barley wine. Cheers. I'm going to give it a ding. We haven't had many dings recently.
Ding it. Yeah.
Very good. There we go. Give it that ding, folks, at Christmas. Oh, would you like me to have Santa say something to you?
Santa seems like he wants to say something.
Okay. Santa, what have you got to say?
Oh, man.
That's very rude,
terrible.
Santa. Go back away over there. You can stay there. We'll see you tomorrow, folks, with that. Good. We should get this guy to talk next time. We'll do that. Cheers. Thank you, Chuck.
Yep. Thank you, Phil.
Barley wine. That's my baby.
Okay, nice. Thanks, Mark.
Ho, 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 ho.